We mentioned the difference between our understanding of, I guess, societal understanding of mental and emotional health is not as advanced as physical health. And I think even in Western culture, right, like that's not specific to our community, but sometimes its existence itself isn't even acknowledged. You might have heard someone say, oh, but you have shelter and food and income, how could you be depressed? Or, oh, but you look fine. Part of my own healing process while getting help was to communicate with my parents on exactly what it was I was feeling, why, and what I needed. I now understand that they weren't brought up in a way that would even have equipped them with knowing the kind of emotional parenting style I needed as a child. And so I sort of took on that initiative in order to continue our relationship in the best way I feel that we could have. That's easier as an adult to do than I think it would have been in my teens. So relating to that, what is your advice for youth struggling with their relationship with their parents who maybe don't have that emotional awareness to understand that their child is hurting and needs help?
I think the first place to start would be to start validating your experiences bottom up. Um, the external experience usually manifests what's happening internally. So, a place to start, I always think, is the foundation is building relationship with self. So, once you begin to recognize negative core beliefs about self, working on places where you work on validating your own experiences, because sometimes when we haven't had felt the validation, we lose connection with self and rely on others to validate us. So seeking external validation to fill us on the inside. So there's a bit of a flip that needs to happen, which is to recognize and challenge your own core beliefs and looking to validate your own experiences, acceptance of your emotions, and allowing yourself to feel and heal. Right. So, so that would be one place to go, and accessing experiences and also people in your life that, if it is not within the certain environment that you live in, then seeking those experiences and seeking trusted adults in your life that can provide you that support, be it with a professional, be it with a friend, be it with a teacher, or extended family. So really beginning to creating a safe space and including people in your life that can inform your journey of healing and working your way through. When there's been a series of judgments, internalized beliefs about self, and one tends to protect self by pushing them away. When you keep knocking on the same door all the time, then somewhere it creates a cracks and comes in, and we tend to internalize those experiences. So I think the first place to be would be to take a good scan of your own self and start working on treating yourself and loving yourself, um, which would be at the foundation of the beginning of the work.
I love that you said the inner work will
Yeah.
manifest itself on the outside. I've heard stories of people who worked on themselves and then in turn that somehow changed the relationship they had maybe with their parents because they
Mhm.
did that work themselves and they started with their own, like you said, validating things that weren't validated from other people.
Absolutely. The biggest strength lies within us, and you always have yourself to rely on. And when we begin to recognize that disturbing experiences um, have impacted us in a certain way rather than those disturbing experiences are us, then we can safely create some distance from those experiences and resource us, fill us with some fuel us and fill us with resources that help to nurture self. Right. We talked about yoga earlier. We talked about challenging negative core beliefs. We've talked about doing some purging from the basement, and working your way on accessing positive supports that can help you build strength and courage.
Another episode of the Speak Real podcast, sharing one-on-one conversations. We believe that storytelling is the best way to empower youth and give them the platform to find their voices.
Presented by Youth Speak. Youth experience, youth voice, youth empowered.